Jeremiah chapter 12. Got through verse 4 last week, and in verses 1 through 4, Jeremiah was complaining to God that, at a time of great general misery, this was written like, 608, about 3 years before Nebuchadnezzar was getting ready to come through on his way to Egypt, and the famous Battle of Carchemish, which was in 605 BC. So this was written before that, but Jeremiah's complained that time of great general misery, powerful men. We got that going today, don't we? General misery, time of general misery. Powerful men thrive on the ruin of others.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Okay. And even up there, even the innocent cattle and fowls of the air, they suffer with the rest. And to him, Jeremiah is getting a little impatient here, as we all do. We don't need to get impatient with God. God has His time. We can't rush God. He's going to do it. Okay? But to Jeremiah, it seemed like that all this problem, the general misery, the misery, might have been cured by a big display of divine justice. Swat them like flies, stomp them down. God, why don't you do that? We got, the rich get richer and all that sort of stuff, and they're all doing it on the backs of the poor. But I think pastors mentioned this. Nobody mentions how actually hard work the rich have to do to get rich. You're not going to get rich sitting there in front of the TV with your Nintendo or whatever playing video games. Even though a lot of people think that they're going to do that, my job, I'm gonna play video games and get rich. Right? Okay. Probably the same way you're going to get rich playing video games as the folks do who go to the racetrack and bet on the horses. Right? Or gamble at the local casino.
Never been to a racetrack.
Yeah, there's these.
Wow.
The Yakima Fairgrounds had one. The one time I went actually to the racetrack at the Yakima Fairgrounds was for a destruction derby.
Oh, demolition.
Demolition derby, yeah. That was kind of fun.
They used to have one in Auburn.
Yeah. Anyway, so, Jeremiah's wanting some big act of divine justice, hey, God, instead of dealing with men by general and slow-working laws, instead of being, long-suffering, which is one thing that we need to appreciate about God, is His long-suffering and His patience, instead of, dealing, long-suffering, patient, slow-working laws, just get out there and tear out the worst offenders, from among the rest, and everything will be peachy. Okay? That's kind of what verses 1 through 4 was. Anyway, so we come down to verse 5, and God answers him, and God rebukes Jeremiah, his impatience, and he shows him. We've got two little proverbs here. Verse 5: If thou hast run with the footman, okay? If you're in a race, you're running with a race, in a race, but the footman is the, let's see, is the guy, well, he's, okay, trying to describe it. Oh, in the Old English, the lord of the manor had a carriage with horses, and the footman would be the guy that rides on the back of the carriage, and then when the carriage stops, the footman, opens the door, stuff like that, okay? If that was run with the footman, or, ordinary folks, I guess you could say, how, and they, yeah, anyway, where am I here? Okay. You run with, oh gosh, I lost my thought here. That's happening an awful lot lately.
Horsemen run with the
Footman, there are, that's a trial. He's comparing it to a trial. If thou was run with the footman and they have wearied thee,
Help me with the word weary.
huh?
Tired out.
Tired out, yeah.
Worn.
Yeah, you wear them out.
Okay.
You worn them out. You run with them. Okay? And common, if you will, ordinary, daily race through life. Okay? And they've worn you out. And, at times, Jeremiah, has like all of us, we're running the race, but sometimes we get, burned out and tired, and we have to recuperate. Well, if you're running in the general type race, okay, what are you going to do when you're running with the horses? Okay, like I said, the footman would be standing on the back of the carriage, but now if you're the guy up there in front, and you have to actually, you're not riding the horses, but you're running with the horses and trying to keep up with the horses. I guess this is an old proverb, I guess. What are you going to do when it really gets wearying and tiring? What are you going to do then when the trials get harder? Okay? You got medium-sized trials. What are you going to do when they get really hard? When they get really tough? So prosperous wickedness, is a mere ordinary trial, and a mere running with the footman, and running with the horses. You're going to have to exert far greater powers of endurance. Okay? So if thou run with the footman, they have wearied thee, then how canst thou contend with horses? And if in the land of peace, wherein thou trustest, if things are going fine, things are, going okay, and you're doing okay through that, what's going to happen when a real tough trial comes along? Okay, and that's what he's kind of the point God is trying to get across to Jeremiah. Land of peace. You're secure. What are you going to do when you feel safe? Only when things are tranquil. How many of us have gone through something's hey, everything's going fine. Everything's okay, everything's going peachy keen, and all of a sudden, like in my case, you step out of the shower and you twist your back, okay, and it puts you on the ground, the pain puts you on the ground for, a month or so, or, you know, things are going great, and you catch a cough, or whatever, yeah.
Preach it, brother.
You know, you know, just a slight cough,
Talk
and
it.
it lays you out, you know, oh, everything's doing fine, and all of a sudden, you're in pain, okay? We can also think of Patrick over here, you know, everything's going fine, and all of a sudden, he's dealing with cancer, okay? That's kind of the idea here, you know, stuff's doing fine, going wonderfully, and a big trial comes along. What are you gonna do then, Jeremiah? What are you gonna do then? So, and if in land of peace wherein thou trustest, they wearied thee, then how wilt thou do in the swelling of Jordan? The swelling of Jordan would be flood time. How are you going to do when the trials flood in? That's the picture. And come down to verse 6. For even thy brethren, okay, and God's still working on Jeremiah here, okay, your fellow Jewish people, okay, your fellow citizens of Jerusalem and Judah, your brethren, okay, that's what he's saying, and the house of thy father, okay, your relatives, okay, and pastors mentioned this before, you know, witnessing to his family, and we all have that same thing, witnessing to our family, you know, the house of thy father, even they have dealt treacherously with thee. And you know, and yea, they have called a multitude after thee. And this does have a comparison with Jesus here. Okay? Jesus' brethren. Okay? His Jewish family, if you will. His brothers and sisters. Okay? House of your father. You know, and how they dealt with Jesus, how your own family were, at one time, you know, Jesus was living in this little town, Anathoth, which is about 3 miles north, I guess northeast of Jerusalem, close to Jerusalem. They were conspiring against Jeremiah. You know, hey, you know, you're preaching. We don't like your preaching. Let's get together. Let's have it. You know, they had a conspiracy theories back then too. Let's get together and let's kill this guy. You know, doesn't matter if he's our family member. Doesn't matter, you know, if we're related to him. Doesn't matter if you know, we're supposedly his friends. You know, they have dealt treacherously with you. Hey, Jeremiah, your family, they dealt treacherously with you. They have called a multitude after thee. Believe them not. Okay. This is short, but don't trust anybody. You know, in God we trust. Everybody else pays cash. Right? So, you know, don't trust your neighbors. Don't trust your family. You know, that's a hard thing to do. You know, they're my family. They should be supporting me, and I should be supporting them. But they're stabbing you in the back. You know, a lot of times. You know, have any of us ever had that happen in our families? You know, yeah. You don't have to raise your hand.
Or like I said,
But-
I'm ready to both lines.
Yeah.
Tim almost put in prison.
Yeah. And believe them not, though they speak fair words unto thee. Oh, okay. Yeah, they're talking and nice, but then along comes the knife in the back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
And, actually, you know what? We're gonna, we'll get, two verses done today. Just think how long it's gonna take me to get through. It took me 6 years to get through Isaiah.